It sure is. I don't even know where to start.
End of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
Good morning, Facebookers and YouTubers. This is your favorite Christian conservative pastor. Hopefully you're learning to love Pastor Steve. I don't even know where to start today, honestly. There's just so much current Christian commentary and news. Well, I provide the commentary. But there's just so much going on right now. I don't even know where to start. Where do I start? Do I start with Russia this morning calling up all of its military reservists? Do you have any idea? Just the cost alone of calling up your military reservists. And if you don't know what a reservist is, that's a guy who either was in the military and it just got out, or he signs up to be like part-time in the military. You get the idea. The other day I made a video about World War III starting. I was probably right, maybe just a little ahead of my time, which is kind of the story of my life. But Turkey invaded Syria. And again, the Russian reservists being called out. Have you heard that on ABC News? Has CBS said no? CNN? No. Fox? No. It's really happening. I don't make this stuff up, folks. I'm going to leave you links for everything. Turkey invaded Syria the other day. Have you heard anything about that from CBS, NBC, any of the alphabet networks? No. A little bit of it is coming out on the internet right now, finally. But I made a video about that a couple days ago. Germany. Well, let's just start. Look, what would you do if you had all the money in the world? If you had, let's just say 70% of all of the money in the world, it's just yours. What would you do? I'll tell you one thing that one guy has done. I've made several videos about this guy, George Soros. He is not the Antichrist, by the way, but he is setting the stage for the Antichrist to rise to power. Sermon for another day. But George Soros, who has more, he makes Bill Gates. George Soros' money makes Bill Gates look like a lemonade stand compared to, Hewlett-Packard or something like that. I don't know, whatever. But, George Soros, one of the most evil men in the world, he likes to play kingmaker. He likes to, there's a picture of that ugly guy. Most evil man on the face of the earth. God bless him. Look, I hope he gets saved. I hope you're saved. I hope you know the Lord. If you don't know the Lord in these most troubling times, and by the way, yeah, we're on the precipice of the most troubling times. We're just probably a few short weeks away. But if you know Jesus, you will know peace. Anyway, this is George Soros. Let me play a little bit of this tape. It's not very long. All right, for those of you that are lost, okay, George Soros is pouring billions of dollars into bringing about the new world order. This is a one world government, just like the Bible predicted, which will lead to a one world leader, just as the Bible predicts. We know him as the Antichrist. And by the way, for the first 3 years that the Antichrist takes power, everybody, relatively speaking, is going to think he is the greatest thing ever. They're going to, if you speak out against, if you are against, and that's why I say, be that guy. You see the guy there in the circle? Everybody else, pretty much Heil Hitler. Him, not so much. But back to George Soros. He's pouring all his money into bringing about the New World Order. Here it's known as the Open Society, but it literally, it's just a horse of a different... A rose by any other name is still a rose. It's still the New World Order. And he's bringing that about now by flooding the world with immigrants. I just read an article the other day. I should have brought it to you, but I didn't. It's blaming Japan, blaming the slowdown of the economy in Japan on the fact that it's not allowing Muslim immigrants, Muslim migrants into the country of Japan. I mean, and this is the stuff that New York Times and Washington Post are trying to push down your throats like it's true. Oh yeah, Japan's problem, their economic problem, is a result of not allowing Muslim migrants into their country.
Well, isn't that special?
At any rate, I digress. More about George Soros. Here we go. Open Society, and he's literally, this is from a leaked document, by the way. Thank you, Julian Assange, for these WikiLeaks. This is where we learned all this stuff. None of this stuff is fabricated, folks, I promise you. Okay, that's what we used to call dead air when I used to be on the radio. All right, well, there it is. Leaked documents from George Soros, basically taking away our free speech, basically silencing all vocal supporters of opposition, and taking away our free speech. Now, isn't it interesting that President Obama, this is the Wall Street Journal, there's the article, I'll leave a link for it, of course, down at the bottom, is giving away, as I told you a couple days ago. Also, you might want to check out my video, They Stole the Church Bells. I know it's a little bit long, it's a little bit esoteric, but literally they are going to take away our ability to make these videos and communicate with each other, and that will coordinate us off, section us off, so that they can pick us off, if you will, and I don't mean that literally, but kind of I do, so that they can pick us off in small groups rather than have to deal with us all over the internet. So anyway, the internet giveaway to the United Nations. I'll leave an article. I'll leave the link to this article in the Wall Street Journal. Basically, when the Obama administration announced its plans to give up U.S. protection of the internet, it promised the United Nations would never, just like if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, would never take control. But because of the administration's naivety or arrogance, I say it's pre-planning by President Obama and George Soros, the UN is likely to result in the U.S. gives up the internet stewardship as planned midnight September 30th. On Friday, Americans for Limited Government received a response to its Freedom of Information Act request for all records relating to legal policy analysis concerning antitrust issues, Internet Corporation, blah, blah, blah. I'll let you read that for yourself. Okay, now, making my case for the New World Order, and I know you believe me, but I want you to try and open the eyes of your friends. I want you to try and get your friends to wake up, to understand what's coming. Again, if you know the Lord, you put your trust in Him, He will see us through. I'm convinced of that. Even if it means I'm going to be stood up against a wall somewhere and publicly executed, I'm okay with that, because I'm not going to stop pointing out the injustices. I'm not going to stop pointing out the lies. Well, you're a pastor. You're supposed to love everybody. I do love everybody. This is why I'm doing this, trying to wake people up to the truths of the evil, and even more evil on the way if Hillary Clinton wins the election that's headed our way. Look at this. In an emergency, farms to be confiscated in Germany. Now, this is in Germany, but I'm telling you, the United States of America has spent an inordinate amount of time trying to put small family farms out of business in the country. They've all but totally succeeded. If you're not aware of that fact, you've had your head buried in the sand way too long. It's time for you to wake up. I'll also leave a link for this, but this is in Germany now. They're proposing, and this is, remember, Angela Merkel, the president of Germany, just told the citizens to have at least 10 days worth of supplies stocked up. 10 days. I tell you, at least 3 months, but she did this just last week. And I'll leave a link for this. The federal government regulates the supplies of citizens. This is how they'll get us, folks. When they cut off the food supply, when the food supply is cut off, we will have no choice but to go begging to the government with our hand out for a little crumb of bread. If you know the Lord, once again, and I know I'm giving you a lot of preaching today. I don't normally do that, but the Bible says I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. I am not going to grovel at the hands of the government. I will be that guy. So anyway, I'll leave a link for that as well. Folks, it really is the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. I hope you know the Lord. Please remember to subscribe and like my Facebook page if you haven't already. We can have discussions there. Richie from Boston, I appreciate him pointing out the fact that YouTube and Google are sending many of your comments to spam. And I get so many comments, I don't have time to filter. This is exactly what they wanted. I don't have time to sit there and read every comment that's in my spam folder and then bring it over to the regular site. By the time you don't hear a response from me or somebody after a day or two, you just give up and move on to another YouTube. I get that part, but just understand that it's YouTube putting your comments in spam. I'm not doing it. Come over to my Facebook page. I'll leave a link for that as well. And at least there, it seems that I'm getting at least the discussions. Folks, God bless you. God bless you and yours. It really is the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. I hope you do too. We'll see you next time.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.
This house is sure gone crazy.